Hey, my Lipton. So God, girl, let's talk about X-Men 97 episode 8. Another great episode. Really love the series. Like I said before, there's a quick review. I'm here for a good time, out here for a long time. These reviews are always short. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. So before I start, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. The goal is to get up to 1,000 subscribers. But as of right now, for the short-term goal is to get up to 900. And like I said before, I've been doing these reviews. Y'all guys can go to my superhero talk playlist to watch the older episode reviews that I've done on this channel about X-Men 97. And honestly, y'all, I will say this though before I get into like a few things about the episode. This episode, the X-Men has always been that way, but like in this episode, I can tell that they definitely threw in a little bit of tidbits here. It was more so art imitating life, especially with a lot of the dialogue that was being spoken in this episode. Even by the episode's title, I think it was like tolerance is extinction or something like that, or tolerance if you're tolerant, something like if you're tolerant that equals the extinction of you know of certain groups. And this episode, I would say, definitely was art imitating life and talking about how, you know, just when you are on the sidelines, when you prefer to just be a bystander, or, and even Baston talking about apathy and all these different things. Like the dialogue, I would say, was on point. And actually, I think that, I don't know. I don't know if X-Men 97 is trying to, really trying to tell us something, or really, really pushing a message about our society, really, about how we are just as people, and a lot of the things that we're willing to tolerate, a lot of the things that we're willing to, it's like we've seen so much of it. We become desensitized to a lot of acts of inhumanity and immorality and all those different things, that we become apathetic, and I think that that really was first of all the message that this episode wanted to tell us. Like I said before, the title of the episode was really, it said it all, that tolerance is extinction. And Bastion, his dialogue was really crazy. Like, it was really crazy. Y'all, I always say y'all go check it out, because he was really speaking on some things where, like, I was even looking at it, like, just being out, loving the show, but also looking around me and seeing what's currently going on right now in our society, and what's been going on, honestly, even the inception of our society, and how mankind has always just done some inhumane shit. And it's like we've become to the point where we've had this apathy, and it goes back to, oh, but if you bully the underdog too much, everybody starts to feel sorry for them or whatever. So it becomes to a point where this episode was definitely art reflecting life. It was a lot. But I will say this though about the X-Men. I don't understand. Let me get to the current X-Men. Apart, and I'm gonna talk about Professor X towards it, because Professor X, I can't. I don't understand. When I was watching this episode, y'all, I was just like, I get it. Y'all are occupied by like what the UN and all these people are trying to do. Y'all trying to live in coexistence and all these different things. But I still don't understand how y'all at least weren't, try to keep updated, try to keep some, like, hey, like, can we have a spy here and there to look at what the hell your ops are doing? Y'all had Sinister and Bastion over here plotting against y'all, especially Sinister, at least Sinister. Y'all had encounters with Sinister in the past. So it's like y'all should at least had something at the back of y'all pocket when it comes to Sinister. Sinister done came in and whacked y'all a couple of times, gave y'all a couple of strays, messed y'all up, messed up y'all family, And then now your guys got Bastion over here doing a whole World War Z on y'all. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy. Honestly, there was a part of me when I was watching this, I was just like, oh my God, the X-Men are getting their shit rocked. Like, they're just gonna get their shit rocked. Because it's like, they're so unprepared. They're so unprepared. It's just like emotions everywhere, so unprepared, just vibes. And I'm like, y'all need to get together. And I'm glad that at this point, we might as well just gonna have to rely on Magneto to do the work. Like, I feel like now Magneto has stepped out, and I'm gonna talk about Magneto towards the end. But Magneto has stepped out of this, like, trying to uphold Professor X's message, cause whatever. But the X-Men are just not prepared. They're just not prepared. Like, the fact that y'all had World War Z on y'all asses like that. Y'all had Bastion over here freaking taking humans and transforming them. And honestly, and this is what I mean when I talk about art imitating life. Like, Bastion basically made these people like AI. It's basically like this whole conversation with AI and like AI replacing humans and so forth. That's how I looked at that situation when I was watching this episode. Like, I was looking at this episode where like you have like the evil corporations. They no longer want to pay nobody. They don't want to pay people. They don't want to pay writers. So let's just replace it with AI. And let's just let AI handle our dirty work. That's how I was looking at this situation. I was like, Bastion really had the humans. He's like, F y'all, I'm gonna make these super duper like ghoulish zombies out of human beings to take out these mutants, to take out these pests. And to me, a part of me, I can understand if they felt blindsided by Bastion, but they definitely should not have felt blindsided by Sinister. Sinister, y'all had encounters with Sinister in the past. Y'all should have been prepared for at least that motherfucker. Get Sinister's ass out of here. And I know I don't have his picture right here, but get Sinister's ass out of here. Also, I'm being let's also discuss. And I said this in my episode 7 review. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know why Cable is so mad. It's like I don't understand why Cable is mad. It's like Cable is really acting as if Cyclops gave him up willingly. Like Cyclops was just like, okay, just take the child and go. Like Cyclops legit, and as much and mind you, he didn't even want to do it. He didn't even want to do it. He did not want Cable to be, Nathan to be, taken to the future and to help him get cured, whatever. But it's like Cable feeling some type of way about Cyclops. And then on top of that, obviously he doesn't look at Jean as whatever. But at the same time, it's like, listen, if it wasn't for Sinister, Jean Grey would have been your real mother, even though she's technically your mother. I don't know. Like, I just feel like Cyclops' anger is misdirected, and I feel like, I say Cyclops, Cable's anger is misdirected. And I just don't like that he feels some type of way about Cyclops and Jean Grey. To me, I think it's stupid. I think that at the end of the day, they saved your life. Cyclops didn't do this easily. This decision was just not made out of the blue. And Cyclops really, really wanted his family together. And I think that, Cable has to blame Sinister for what happened to the family and why he feels the way he feels. And I think that conversation that Jean Grey was having, that Jean Grey and Nightcrawler were having, here's also another thing too. And honestly, maybe now thinking about it now, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. And y'all know I'm not like into the comics like that, like into the comic books in that way. I had no idea that Mystique was Nightcrawler's mother. I had no idea. I was like, what? When he said, "Oh, Mystique, my mother abandoned me," I was like, wait a minute. I was like, when the hell did Mystique become? And then I did a little research and I found out that yes, Mystique is Nightcrawler's mother. It makes sense now. Both looking like blue farts, blue Smurfs. So I can see it. But they definitely need to delve in that a little bit more. I'm like, what, Mystique? What happened? Why did you abandon Nightcrawler like that? And then again, I also think the reason why we weren't as aware, because I mostly been dependent on the movies to tell the stories. So of course the movies couldn't really delve into like certain individual stories, especially like Nightcrawler, because Nightcrawler wasn't a main character. As far as when it comes to like just one in the X-Men and then two just in the X-Men films. So, but that was very interesting fact to hear. And then on top of that, like that conversation with Nightcrawler and Jean Grey was really nice. I like that Nightcrawler told Jean, listen, family is not like, yes, blood, listen, yeah, my blood and blood, whatever, yeah, biologically, but family is chosen. So you can still be, Cable's mother. You can still build that relationship with him, even though you did not give birth to him. So, and plus, even though Jean did not give birth, quote unquote, to Cable, her clone did. But at the end of the day, like she still has her clone's memory. She still has those feelings. That's why for me, I don't know. I just feel like Cable's anger and his irritation with Jean or Cyclops, I feel like is whack to me. I just think it's whack to me that he feels the way that he feels because literally their family is messed up because of Sinister. Literally, that's what it is. So I think that he should just take his anger there. Here's also another thing too. I don't have her picture here. Jubilee, and Sunspot. What's his name? Roberto. Yeah, they had me cackling in this episode, and people on Twitter pointed this out, and I was laughing, and I shared it on my Twitter feed. They said that Jubilee's always getting attacked at the mall. I was weak. They said Jubilee, and they said that the Macy's workers, anytime they see Jubilee walk in, they're like, "Oh my goodness, here comes this girl." Anytime she comes in, destruction follows. Y'all had me weak when y'all said that. I swear Twitter ain't shit. They said that Jubilee and Sunspot had me weak. Sunspot, Roberto went up. Literally, when it was, and nobody laughed at this part, but I laughed. The part where like they were escaping the human sentinels, and then they reached Roberto's mom's mansion, and then when Roberto was like, "Mommy," like literally, "Mom, these things are trying to kill me." I was just like, "Girl, what do you want him to do?" I was like, "What do you want her to do? Like, what? Okay, like, go, but stop chasing my son." Like, that was so. I don't know why that was so funny to me. It sounded so whiny. Like, "Oh, mommy, these human sentinels that have these like powers that can blow this whole building up are trying to kill me." And then on top of that, the mom ends up tells Roberto to give up. I don't know. Roberto's mom, he low-key needs to like, cut her off because she is no help at all. And clearly she does not want him to be a mutant. So, when you have someone that hates you, hates your identity, hates who you are, then especially a family member, you're gonna have to end up cutting that family member off. It is what it is. But yeah, but that part, I mean, Jubilee and Roberto are cackled. Listen, I've been dragging Professor X for 2 episodes straight, and I'm going to continue to drag him. The fact that and I know y'all, yes, I understand he got the Empire people, they saved him, they cured him, whatever. But then after a certain point, he should have came back. The fact that Professor, like, Bastion is over here creating whole human sentinels, whole World War Z zombies, and then Professor X was living it up there in a different universe, about to get married, until he saw Gambit having to blow him away to smithereens in his mind for him to get a clue. Professor X is low-key I'm sorry, he's pissing me, he's low-key irritating me, even though he hasn't been here a lot. But it's just like, your X-Men have been getting mollywopped. Like Storm went through a whole experience. Cyclops and Jean, it's just a mess. What's happening? Magneto over there suspended. I'm about to show the picture soon. Suspended all over the place. It's about to be bad. And then you out here lollygagging around. And I'm just like, Wolverine was just like, man, this ain't shit. Like, where is the professor? He wished the professor was here. Here comes Professor X talking about my X-Men. Are they your X-Men? Are they? Because there's not gonna be an X-Men left. With the way you diddle-daddle lollygag so much, arriving to Earth. Bastion really said, I am creating, and but then again, this, even though Bastion is like, he's also a sentinel himself, he's descended by them, and he realizes that he's also a monster, which is like, at the end of the day, it's like, what is also Bastion's end goal? Like, I get it, like, he wants to get rid of the mutants, and he doesn't want, the world to be, it's like that fear factor thing. It's like that fear of mutants, that fear, hell, it might be mutant phobia. We might end up calling it a new word. Mutant phobia is what this is. They said, Bastion said, we ain't gonna get no, I'm mutant phobic, and I don't want these mutants, these pests, these things all over the place. So I'm just gonna create my own thing to eliminate these mutants. But then again, it's like it's like, okay, like, is these sentinels the next human evolution? Like, to me, it's also like, you're also doing that against the will of these people. So I don't know. Bastion is a problem. Bastion is definitely a problem. And, you can, and already, they said they did it in the episode. Bastion and Sinister over there backstabbing each other. Sinister has his own plan. He's not gonna be with Bastion too long. Bastion is like, listen, all y'all villains are dumb as fuck. Yeah, guys, at the end of the day, y'all doing this for the short term. I'm doing this for the long term. So there's definitely some snakes in the camp when it comes to the villain territory of things. I think that Sinister and Bastion are gonna have a real bad encounter with each other where it's gonna get violent. And I can't wait to see that. Get rid of Sinister. I'm sick of Sinister. I'm sick of his ass. He done ruined the Summers family. He created a whole bunch of BS. It's crazy. Get rid of Sinister. I can't stand him. Bastion, I don't know. Bastion, it's at least with Sinister. No, Sinister, he's just like a self-hating human. It's like he saw the mutants, took their blood, took their DNA, wanted to become a villain, blah blah blah. So in a weird way too, I feel like Bastion should also, but then again, I do think that Bastion does not like Sinister. But then again, like, Bastion should also hate Sinister too, because Sinister took these mutants' DNA and made himself what he is. So it's kind of like, shouldn't Sinister also be in a category where you want to eliminate? But that's why I think, well, it's already happening. I think they're gonna backstab each other when we continue on with the series. So we'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of, let's talk about my fave. Listen, y'all are over here trying to blame. Y'all are over here calling. Y'all were mad at Rogue. Y'all were like, oh my God, Rogue is a hoe. Why is Rogue going with Magneto? Gambit. Blah, 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 blah. Wah. When Magneto, this is how Magneto looks like under all of that. This is how Magneto looks like under that suit, under that childbearing suit. This is how Magneto looks like. And y'all thought that Rogue was wrong for getting with Magneto? Child. I said it before. I said it. I'm a day oneer at this point. I know I'm in the minority. I'm going to stick to whatever. I don't care. I've been said it. I was like, listen, I don't blame Rogue. Magneto is fine. And I said it then. I said it in the first episode. I was like, listen, Magneto is fine. His ideology is fine. His body is everything. I didn't have to see them. I mean, we already saw the muscles, but like, we saw what it was. And now people over here thirsting for Magneto on Twitter, talking about, so, oh my God, why they really had this man in a Speedo, spread out, BDSM style. Like, what was the reason for this? But at the same time, we're not mad at it. Magneto is sexy as hell. And that ending, listen, I know y'all keep saying Val Cooper is probably Mystique, and maybe she is, I don't know. But it's like, I don't see her like, first of all, the way Bastion had it, maybe she could be Mystique, it could not be. But then again, it's like, why does Val Cooper, like, what is Val Cooper's motive? Like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like, Magneto was right about humans, but you're a human too. So he's gonna basically destroy everything by the time he gets dressed. By the time he gets dressed, he's gonna mess y'all. He's not only gonna fuck up Bastion and Sinister and all them other hoes, he's taking all the rest of y'all out. So to me, it's like, of course, I'm happy that she helped to release Magneto, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you say Magneto was right, but you do also know that also means your, extinction as well, So to me, it's kind of like, is Val Cooper Mystique? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It could be. And the fact that, Nightcrawler brought up Mystique, saying that Mystique was my mother. So who knows? It could be an Easter egg. She could be coming. It could be Val Cooper. We'll just have to wait and see. But listen, that ending scene, Magneto is not playing around with y'all. Magneto had enough. And on top of that, y'all done humiliated, even though I'm not complaining, but y'all humiliated this Bastion. Y'all humiliated this man to the point where but for real, what was the reason of y'all, like, stripping him down like this? And owning a speed up, like, Bastion, Sinister. But here's also another thing, too, that I don't understand. And I think this is, like, so stupid. Why would Bastion and Sinister leave Val Cooper with Magneto by herself? It's like, Bastion, Val Cooper already was a little bit on the fence about you creating these human sentinels. So you didn't get a clue that she was going to try to do something. Like, that part, I'm like, okay. But then again, Bastion is too smart. I feel like also Bastion is smart enough not to do, like, to have his ducks in a row when it comes to, like, the people on his team. So I'm surprised that he didn't catch that, or he didn't think that Val Cooper or somebody on his team was going to do something to, like, release Magneto. So to me, I don't know. I just felt like that was a little bit like, okay, I needed that to slide to make the Magneto scene make sense. Which, by the way, I'm not complaining, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, like, y'all let this quote unquote human just stick around for this freaking Omega level mutant while she's already feeling a little bit off-putted by this human sentinel thing. It's like, I don't know. I feel like Bastion should have saw that coming. Personally. That's just what I think. But listen, Magneto is coming. This is, even though I don't know why they're calling this part 1, part 2. I just think that they just make it episode 9, episode 10, episode 11. It just makes more sense. But whatever. But I cannot wait. Magneto is coming. Listen, I know for sure, we're not going to get no more grandstanding Magneto like how we got him on episode 2. We're going to get standing on business Magneto, okay? We're going to get standing on business Magneto for these next few episodes, and I cannot wait. And I don't want, what's his name, Professor X coming in, Xavier coming in here talking about coexistence. Nah, F that. I don't want to hear it. But anyway, y'all, that was just my thoughts on that. Okay, this was a really nice episode. I loved it. I know I kind of ranted a lot, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 900 subscribers. The goal is to get up to 1,000, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.